Tonight, this In-Depth is brought to you by a viewer named Jim. He emailed Dan at WRAL.com and said, I recently visited Total Wine and More and noticed THC and Delta-9 beverages. I was surprised to see an entire aisle about 32 feet long dedicated to these products. I believe this deserves more attention. So let's do that. Let's give it some attention, because I believe lots of people are kind of confused about what these products even are. So tonight we're going to boil it down, or in this case, extract it with CO2, dissolve it in heptane, bathe it in sulfuric acid, then stir it under a controlled heat. Let's talk about North Carolina's legal THC. So let's start here. As you know, marijuana is not legal in North Carolina, not medically, not recreationally. Yet, you can see signs outside of businesses advertising THC products. You can buy drinks with THC right in the title. Drinks like Stay Cool, High Spirits, Nano Cannabis, Can High Boy, and Keef Orange Kush. These are titles straight out of Cheech and Chong. For our younger viewers, these are Cheech and Chong. No? How about Harold and Kumar? Still no? Okay, Snoop and Martha. Whatever, you get the point. But what is the deal? Is this false advertising? Well, no. So then are they breaking the law? Also, no. But how can both be true? Well, because the THC sold here in North Carolina comes from hemp. Let me explain. This is hemp. This is marijuana. They are siblings. This might be a little easier to explain using another plant. So let's use wild cabbage. You see, this plant is the oldest ancestor of some of your favorite veggies: broccoli, kale, collards, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower. All of them come from wild cabbage. We have those variations because of selective breeding. While some of those siblings might be bushy like broccoli and others leafy like kale, they all share a common ancestor and common traits. And with hemp and marijuana, one of those traits is THC, specifically Delta-9 THC, which is the primary compound that gets you high. Now, marijuana has lots of it. Hemp has very little, but it does exist in both plants. And this is where President Trump comes in. I know, can you believe it? He's in every story. In 2018, President Trump signed the Farm Bill and wanted to give new life to the hemp industry, which can be used for all types of things: clothing and construction and lots of stuff. The bill legalized hemp and all the things inside it, like those trace amounts of THC. And companies, essentially, are using those trace amounts to make products that can get you high. You see, chemists and engineers have figured out a way to extract that Delta-9 THC and then add it to lots of products like vapes and chocolates and gummies and drinks. So just to reiterate and to underscore here, the same chemical that gets you high in weed is the same thing that gets you high in a can of Keef. The chemical process that happens in your body is identical, meaning in a state where all forms of marijuana are illegal, this is a bit of a loophole. And well-known local companies are jumping right through it. Bowstring Pizza, Whiskey Kitchen, Trophy Brewing. They all either have drinks in the works or already on the shelves. The co-owner of Trophy Brewing said he has seen the market explode in just the last 6 months.
Even our bottle shop, State of Beer, sells plenty of these types of products, and we were seeing their popularity just skyrocket.
So if they all know about the loophole, and I know about the loophole, and now you know about it too, then you best believe lawmakers know about it. In fact, this week, North Carolina legislators introduced a bill that would do actually a few things. It would raise the age from 18 to 21 to buy these products, oversight and some licensing rules for sellers and distributors, and have quality control for manufacturers, testing for things like heavy metals and pesticides and other toxins. You'll notice, though, there's no call in that legislation to shut down the industry, though, in the state, which isn't really surprising because business is booming. According to the USDA in 2023, North Carolina more than doubled its hemp production from one year to the next. It ranked at the time number 4 in the nation. So there you have it. That's why you see those products on the shelves. But the question does remain, should you have it? Are these products safe to drink or eat? Well, that is kind of tough to answer, again, because there really isn't much regulation. And this kind of makes people nervous. Last week, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, extended his emergency ban on hemp-derived THC. He cites a lack of testing for toxins and heavy metals, the potential for inconsistent THC levels, meaning you might ingest something that actually is way stronger than advertised, and child safety. Now, critics think that he's doing this because he's trying to crush that industry, because he's being lobbied by legal marijuana, which does see hemp as a real threat. And that may be true and it may not be true, but it doesn't mean that those concerns aren't reasonable. I mean, this month, North Carolina Poison Control reported that cases of cannabis exposure in kids has doubled in the past 4 years. And last year, nearly half of those kids were under the age of 13. Now, as far as that specific Delta-9 THC compound, well, you can find countless studies on the pros and cons of marijuana's most famous ingredient. But one thing is certainly true. Everyone reacts a bit differently to it. That's why it makes some people anxious and uncomfortable, and it makes other people like fish. So if you do plan to try nano cannabis, stay cool, or keef, here is a bit of advice. Pay attention to that little label on the can that tells you the milligrams of THC, and start low. And understand, a can of this will hit you much differently than wine or beer.
One of the challenges with this particular product is the slow uptake it has into the system. You could be 1 or 2 drinks into it before feeling the effects. And being that we're putting this in a seltzer versus a beer that has high caloric value, it's really easy for people to put back 2 real fast and not realize how deep they are into it.
It is important to understand that part of it. There is a delayed effect if you're using these products. So if you were to slug down 2 25-milligram drinks, you could be consuming about as much Delta-9 THC as someone playing Puff Puff Pass with these guys, even if you can buy it at Total Wine. If you have more questions about this one, let me know. Send me an email at dan@wral.com. It was Jim's email that led to tonight's segment. Yours could be next. We rely on your feedback and all of the intelligent emails that we get from all of our viewers out there. So please tell me what is on your mind, and we will go in depth.